Good evening, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us tonight for another Small Business Virtual Town Hall. I'm your host, April Ham, and I'm here with Jay Reed, as usual.
How's everybody doing this evening?
All right, so just a little housekeeping for people joining us who are new with us for the first time. This is pretty informal. We basically just kind of talk about things. We are here for you. We are small business owners ourselves, and we just kind of talk about issues that we're all facing, as well as things that we're facing, particularly in our particular business. And of course, right now, the thing that's on everybody's mind is the pandemic, reopening, pivoting, trying to do business online or trying to keep up relationships online, especially if that's something that's new to you. If you have been mainly operating locally in person and that sort of thing. We've been meeting since March, and we've covered a lot of ground. If you're just now joining us, you'll definitely want to check out our recordings, which are all available on YouTube. But tonight, we especially wanted to talk about relationships, both building new business relationships as well as maintaining relationships that you already have, especially during times like these. Jay, do you have anything to add?
No, I didn't have much to add at this point, other than, of course, we all know as business owners, building the right relationships has a very strong effect on our business success. Without having key relationships in place, it's hard to find the success that you're looking for. So that's why we're looking at building business relationships, especially during COVID-19, as April said. And actually, on a note of housekeeping, of course, this is the August 6th virtual town hall. So we've had a couple of virtual town halls. And if you can actually see the screen, we have a couple of partners that have worked with us during the virtual town halls. Of course, we have the SBA, who shared and provided some great information for us to share. The SBDC, Small Business Development Center, Louisiana office. They're a great resource. They're a sister organization to the SCORE program under the SBA's guidance. Of course, we have SCORE Fund 17, who just did a great pitch contest yesterday with their Capital Ready program. And we have True Fund. True Fund is one of the organizations that help small businesses get funding for their business. Especially if you're a little bit smaller business and you're not looking for a whole lot of funding, especially in more of the early stages, they can help you build up and package your loan application so you can get funding to make those next steps. So if you have any interest in developing your business more, if you're just starting a business, definitely reach out to one of our organizations that can help you establish your business, connect you with the right resources and people. Especially in this time of COVID-19, we've been going through a whole lot of meetings and conferences and webinars focused on how to deal with surviving business-wise during COVID-19.
That's right. And we've been getting a lot of really positive feedback, people really finding it helpful to have a small forum like this, because of course, there's tons of really formal things. There's press conferences with the governor and chambers, and really this is our opportunity to just come together as people, as individuals, small business owners, as freelancers, as creatives, artists, entrepreneurs, to talk to each other, but also we are able to kind of bridge the gap for you because of the connections that we have. So when you have questions that affect your business, and or like you maybe don't understand some of the news that's coming out, this is the place to bring those questions, because certainly if we can't answer them ourselves, we're not experts on everything, but we definitely can get you the answers and get you in touch with the right people.
Definitely.
Yes. So without further ado, let's get into this topic about relationships. Um, so this is just sort of a fun slide. It says, how am I supposed to meet new people and market my business when I can't go anywhere? That's, some of the feedback that I've been getting, both here locally and with people that I've been meeting, actually meeting them online. Telling me some of the frustrations that they're facing during this time. A lot of people are new to social media, or they've been mainly using it for personal reasons and not so much for business. And so it's kind of a learning curve to start using social media for business networking. And so what I want to do in just a little bit is to share my screen and just show you a few really good examples of how different people are using social media, both to market their business, but also especially to meet new people, to build relationships with potential customers, as well as to keep in touch with existing customers, as well as friends and colleagues. Um, Before we do that, I just want to check in with our people attending with us, both here with us on Zoom as well as live. If you have any questions for us, please do feel free to type them into the chat box at any time. If you're on social media, we may not see it in the moment, but we'll certainly respond when we can. But let's see, we have Miss Desiree Robinson. If you are able to check in with us, how are you doing? And do you have any particular questions or concerns that you want us to address today? And everyone is on mute when you first come in. So if you are going to jump in, you will have to unmute yourself. Okay. Okay, we will come back. Just a fair warning to some people who might be new with us. I do call on people. This is definitely interactive, or at least we try our best. Certainly, if you are really just kind of wanting to be a quiet observer, just check things out, that's perfectly okay. We certainly have people who call in and do that, just to kind of listen, to take in the information. And then we have other people who can't wait to start talking. And so again, if you want to just jump in, please use the chat feature here in Zoom. We are looking at it. And then otherwise, I also can see messages like if you say, please don't call on me, then I won't do that. Okay, well, anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. When I come back, please feel free to jump in. We have a dedicated portion where we literally just talk about things. And I know some people are gonna be arriving a little bit late tonight. Okay, so let's see. All right, so I just wanted to run through a few different social media channels and talk about how different companies, different people are using them, like I said, either to build new relationships or keep in touch with existing relationships. And where better to start than Facebook? We're probably all pretty familiar with Facebook, comfortable. We certainly probably all have our personal Facebook pages here. We should have a company or brand page on Facebook. Right now, we're looking at the SCORE page. SCORE, of course, is an organization, with like a dedicated marketing team. It looks great. As a solopreneur, as a freelancer, as a small business owner, where everybody's working in the business, you may not be able to work on your marketing. So you may not have a really nice looking page, where, everything is uniform and consistent, and that's okay. And today, what I really mainly want to talk about is how we can personally use social media to connect with people. So I'm not going to be going through how to use social media for branding and things like that. I just started there because, technically, our company should have that. But at the same time, we do still have to personally interact ourselves. So where I wanted to go is over to Facebook groups. So Facebook groups is a really great place to keep in touch with people, where you can really avoid a lot of noise. You can, kind of invite your customers, new and existing, to just kind of check in with you there. You can share your announcements there. It's easy. You're already on Facebook. And this example is for the Jamboree Museum. They've got almost 500 members. Some of them are local, some of them aren't. And yes, I'm a member there. And so you can see some of my posts, but you can see all the different comments where people can say, hey, I didn't get that link, or, hey, I like this video. And people can really communicate with you that way. And it's really informal. It's not like you have to, have software that sends out messages at a certain day and time on a schedule. That's great for your brand. But personally, you especially, for us as small business owners and as freelancers, we really want to have that personal connection. And then, of course, even if you don't have your own Facebook group, because that, of course, is something else to manage, right? You can also, of course, join other established groups and simply participate and network with folks there. Anybody have any thoughts, questions, concerns about personal communications on Facebook or Facebook groups? Like it, love it, don't love it? Of course, we have Facebook as a company has its own issues. We can certainly talk about that if anybody wants to, but all that aside, the next one I wanted to talk about is Instagram. This is the personal Instagram account for one of our local business owners, Jamie, who might be on our call today. But he uses his personal Instagram account for business. You can see it's pretty informal. He's got a little funny face here. Photos with clients. Lots of different stuff. Photos of clients showing the kind of work that he does with massage, selfies, food. You can decide what you want to share. But the reason that I'm picking on Jamie for Instagram is because I know that he does a lot of messaging directly with his clients and new customers who have questions on Instagram. Like they message each other right there in the platform, kind of like texting, but on Instagram. And that works out for him. So, you know, um, um, I hear a lot from people, and of course I experienced this myself. It's very difficult to try to manage social media when you're trying to also run a business, unless you're in the business of social media, you know. But, you know, really you just pick the platform that you feel the most comfortable with, and of course where your customers are, you know, like, you know, you may love Facebook, but if your customers are not there, uh, then that may not be the best use of your time. But so that's that example.
Uh,
Yes,
oh,
go ahead, Jay.
I do want to interject a little bit. On these social media platforms, it is best to, if you're just starting, try to pick one to focus on and learn
Mm-hmm.
the the platform and the what they call the voice of the platform, the personality of the platform, because each one is a little bit different. I've seen people, and some of my clients have better experiences on Instagram versus Facebook. Some of them have better experiences on LinkedIn or Twitter. It just depends on who your clientele is, what type of voice the platform itself has. So like Instagram is more photos. You get to take pictures with your clients. You get more visuals on Instagram. Facebook is a little mixed because you do get visuals, but you have a lot of knowledge-based information on there. You can do some selling on there. So if you have a retail, especially an online retail business, there's a marketplace on Facebook that you can use for free to promote your products and sell your products and services. So it just depends on what you're trying to do. And I tell a lot of people, if you're looking to do business to business sales versus business to consumer, definitely try to focus a lot of your efforts toward LinkedIn, because that's more of the business community. You'll have a lot of influential people in business that reside on LinkedIn versus the other platforms, because they're really on social media for business itself. Now, if you want to do business to to mass consumer, your mass marketing, like I used to sell automobiles, so I was able to utilize Facebook and Instagram because I had a wider audience to reach. Now, the other thing to keep in mind about social media, and I've seen a lot of people do this or not do this on social media. The functionalities in the title is social, so definitely post pictures, post your content on it, but also go on other people's pages um, um, and like their content and just make some comments on it to create that social interaction. Once you create those social interactions, it becomes a little bit easier because you're not just putting content out there, you're actually interacting with people. So especially in this time with COVID-19, you wanna find new ways to interact with people. Even if it's just an article that you like and you have an opinion about it, write a short opinion about the article. A lot of times the content creators are in the same position that you're in. They'll love that feedback, and they'll start looking at what you're doing and do the same thing for you. So I've met a lot of people on social media taking on that strategy. But of course, you still want to put your content out there, something that your audience will find valuable, that connects directly to your company. And of course, like I said, you can take pictures with your clients, uh, connecting with other business owners. If you're going into partnership with other organizations, definitely post something where you connect them both organizations. To give me an example, the New Orleans Chamber of Commerce is doing their women's leadership conference right now, and I've seen posts on their pages and on other on their partners' pages connecting to that conference. So you see that interaction between organizations. So I want to say the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, they they did a presentation during the conference and they posted on there connected to the conference. Now the conference is getting a lot more traction, and since everybody's name is connected to that conference, their visibility has just gone up. So you kind of, when you start doing things like that, you start to see how that affects your social media presence. Because the whole first step in marketing is of visibility, and that's one of the great things about social media. It's very inexpensive, low entry point to get visibility. Now you just have to be active on there, not just posting content, but actually connecting with other people and organizations to create mass visibility.
Exactly. So like there's the two parts, right? There's your visibility, which is your, you know, like your posts and stuff. But then there's the part where you have to still show up. You have to interact. You know, you have to check your messages, you know, because at some point people actually start reaching out to you. Um, so Following up with what Jay said, I did want to spend a fair amount of time on LinkedIn because, like you said, this is where the business to business relationships are made. Me personally, when I started out on LinkedIn, it was back when I was still doing a lot of music teaching. So I set up my profile, you know, really mainly to promote my music business. And you know, so I just, you know, want to show what that looks like because I know we have a few musicians on the call, a few music teachers, composers, and you know, certainly I'm still a part of that community, and and have been talking offline, just like on the phone. You know, we still do that, right? About a lot of the challenges that the music community is facing during this time. Uh, the thing is that very few of my music friends and colleagues are actually on LinkedIn, and so it's very difficult um, to try to facilitate networking with them because I do have a lot of connections when they're not there. They're on Facebook, they're in Facebook groups, which is great, you know. But again, a lot of what's happening is not happening there on Facebook. It's happening somewhere else. And so I really encourage you all, regardless of what industry you're in, regardless of what your specialty is, regardless of your niche, um, for building business online, if you don't already know people and you don't have their cell phone, you can't just pick up the phone and text them or something like that. You have got to be able to reach out to them on LinkedIn, either directly or through a mutual connection, right? So I promise you, I'm not just bragging on myself. Like I said, I'm not really even doing um, music teaching anymore. I just, you know, wanted to share that with my music colleagues that I know are going to be um, trying to learn about this. But I also wanted to share a few profiles of people that I have actually met directly on LinkedIn. I've never met them in quote unquote real life. They live all over the world. Some of them in the UK, some of them in other states. I have at least one friend and some mutual connections in Barbados, which is always lovely. Let's see. And I've got a lot of tabs open, so my computer's going to be a little bit slow. Hopefully these things come up. Okay. So if you're following along, please jot down these names. Because the people that I'm showing you are people that when you come to LinkedIn, I want you to follow because they're doing a really good job, and you know, and really you can learn a lot just from observing them, but also to go ahead and reach out and connect with them. They are very friendly folks, and certainly if you say, April's told me that you're nice, you know, they will say, oh yes, April's lovely, thanks for connecting, or something like that. As a matter of fact, this guy, John Asperian, he says that he is a relentlessly helpful technical copywriter for B2B websites, a LinkedIn nerd, author of a book, and not a douche canoe. So, you know, you can see even on LinkedIn where it's all about business, people still have a sense of humor. But anyway, great guy. The reason that I point him out is because he shares a lot of tips for LinkedIn, especially. He's written a great book. which is wonderful. He also has it on audiobook, and he's British. And so it just sounds nice when he's reading his book. But anyway, so his posts are all about how to build a better LinkedIn profile, how to better connect with your potential clients on LinkedIn. So, first of all, of course, great person to communicate with, but also really great source of knowledge about being more effective on LinkedIn. Renetta Gunn Stevens, really wonderful person, really bubbly personality, really friendly. She recently started a publishing company, and she's been promoting it on LinkedIn. Great person. You can just see her profile. What I like about LinkedIn is that it's kind of like a portfolio. Really, you can really showcase your offerings, showcase your talents. And so even if you either don't have a website yet, or you're still working on it, or you have one but it just kind of sits there, it's kind of stagnant, you don't interact with people there, LinkedIn is a great place to showcase yourself while also interacting with people all in one place. Ms. Latanya Bynum, another great person. She recently wrote a book. Her story is about how she was working as a secretary in the health department and was really unhappy, and then launched her own business around consulting. And she talks a lot about it on LinkedIn. She's also a very friendly person and shares a lot of resources for how you too can build your business, just, really positive. So, I'm sharing these profiles and these individuals just to say, because, in talking to people, what I hear is that people find it very challenging. It can be intimidating, right? You see people's profiles and they look really professional, they look really sophisticated, or really successful CEOs, but really at the end of the day, they're just like us, right? Like, we're all CEOs of our company. But we do all start somewhere. And if you're just getting started networking on LinkedIn, these are some good folks to observe and also to connect with. I know personally it would have helped me out a lot if someone had just given me a few names to get started. Personally, what I did, I think maybe 2018 or so, 2018, 2019, 2017, 2018 or so, was when I really started to take LinkedIn seriously, and how I tried to kind of make new friends, was that I just sent kind notes to people's messages, hey, I like this about your profile, or, something like that. And also offered, to do something helpful that wouldn't take me a lot of time, just on LinkedIn, or, just like, for example, hey, I noticed such and such. Would you mind if I offer to do such and such to help you improve your profile, or something like that? Just a really kind note. And it was very interesting because when I asked for feedback, some people were very honest with me and said that they thought it was kind of creepy because, nobody's that nice, right? But I mean, I really didn't know what else to do. I didn't have anybody to introduce me. And so that's what I did. And I actually did make some new friends, meet some new colleagues. And I also met some new collaborators. In fact, I've been able to work on several projects with people over the past year that I met on LinkedIn. I've never seen them in real life, in person, in front of me, but I've seen them many times on Zoom, Anyway, finally, as far as LinkedIn, I wanted to share Dr. Eric Griggs. He's local right here in New Orleans. You may have seen him on TV. But he's also pretty active here on LinkedIn. He posts fun stuff like this about a second line, but also things that are helpful for our community. I don't see it now, but I noticed that he posts about where people can go for COVID-19 testing with no line. I'm not able to watch the news all the time. In fact, I really try to avoid it. But I know I can count on Dr. Griggs to tell me where I can go with no wait if I need to. And of course it's helpful for me, even if I don't personally need testing. I now have this information that I can share with someone else if I need to. So anyway, I'm going to pause there. I do have a couple other ones if people are interested, as far as like Twitter, Quora, Google My Business. But again, not to be overwhelming. Like Jay said, you really want to pick one. Just pick one. Pick one. My vote personally is for LinkedIn. I'm kind of biased because that's where I spend most of my social media time. But also, based on the data of where business is happening, that's really going to be LinkedIn. Especially if you're really small and you're really counting on building partnerships, and you still need to do a lot of networking. That's where this is going to happen. And we'll make a list of the different people that I mentioned. I'll certainly even add a few more, just so that you can kind of have somewhere to start with some people who will be nice to you when you reach out to them, to make new connections and try to find your way on this platform. I'm gonna pause there. Jay, do you want to add anything?
Oh, no, I think you did a good job kind of pointing out how uh, how to look for people on social media, some key people that they may be interested in talking to. Um, I do want to say this: if you've ever networked in person, and I tell my clients this all the time, whenever you go to a networking event, I know some people get nervous and they're hesitant to go up and talk to new people. I just want you to keep in mind, everybody's there for the same reason. So to just walk up and say, "Hey, how you doing? Such and such, um, and I do X, Y, Z," and then start asking questions about that person. It's very effective. So we usually teach like a 60-second pitch, a 60-second elevator pitch, and then I tell them start asking questions, because people enjoy talking about themselves and what they're really passionate about, and that's a key way to start building those relationships. Because once you start learning what people are passionate about, you can start finding those connections. The reason I bring that up, social media kind of works the same way. Everybody's here to make a connection. Everybody's here to do something, and that's why I said in the beginning, look at the voice of the platform, the personality of the platform, so you can see what people are here for, and you can start making those connections, start developing those conversations. And there's other tools that we can use to develop social interactions, especially right now in COVID-19. There's a lot of technology out there. Of course, we're using Zoom, which I've seen a lot of people use Zoom to have meetings and things like that. Like we do a lot of our webinars on Zoom. Actually, all our webinars on Zoom. We're doing this virtual town hall on Zoom. But with Zoom, we have the option of sharing our screen with information, or we can share our cameras so you can actually see people and talk to them. And the reason I bring up sharing your camera is because I know a lot of times, if you're not in front of a person, it's kind of hard to read them and see if you're going in the right direction with a conversation. So if you turn on your cameras and you get everybody to turn on their camera in the meeting, you'll be able to judge a little bit better by their expressions and everything, as far as what direction you should go in the conversation. So I think
Yeah, great points. Yeah, and then the only other thing that I wanted to follow up with that about as far as communications, building relationships, maintaining relationships, is the is that the telephone still works. You know, if you have an established client base, just pick up the phone and call people. You know, if you were texting before, just text them. And again, as as your business grows, you'll start to adopt more sophisticated technologies um, um, blah, for automating a lot of communications. But you do still want to have some personal contact with people. And then of course, like Jay was saying, depending on the kind of business that you're operating, you may want to have a video call, so that you can see people. Certainly, our music teachers who are on the call, or who've talked to me personally, who are trying to transition piano lessons to Zoom and FaceTime and that sort of thing. I know it's very difficult, when everything has been local and face to face. But like Jay said, you can also be face to face virtually, which of course is going to be safer right now. Um,
definitely. And another suggestion, and our friends at Fund 17 they've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. So like next week they're having I think their last entrepreneur support group. Basically a group of people get together and they just have a conversation similar to us, but it's more personal. They have their screen, they have their video cameras on where they can sit and talk and just catch up and connect. One of the things that we find, especially right now with COVID-19, connecting with other people not only helps you in your business, but it's going to help with your mental health. The reason I say that, being isolated the way that we've been, and as of late, we've been able to connect more in person because we've moved to, I think it's called phase 2 of reopening. So we've been able to move around more. But in the beginning, when we were so isolated, it starts to get to you mentally because you start losing track of days. You're not aware of the time and things like that because you're looking at the same thing constantly. You're in your house constantly. So we definitely recommend finding new ways to connect with people. And with this being a digital age, this is just something that we have to start utilizing.
right. Let's see. I want to check in. I do see we had a couple more people join us. Mrs. White, are you there? Do you want to jump in and tell us how you're doing and what types of things you're doing to maintain your relationships these days?
Good evening.
Good evening.
At the museum, we are closed, even though people ask us about coming in and touring and so forth. We just don't feel it's appropriate right now or safe. And so we're just doing things through our computer. Recently, we did a series of forums via Zoom that we thought came out rather nice. And so, we're just using those things, Zoom, Facebook. I'm trying to initiate myself with Twitter and LinkedIn. I'm more so on LinkedIn than Twitter, but it's all still a learning process. Even when you look at Facebook, it might seem that it's well established, but it's still all a learning process. you know, when you're from that generation called baby boomers, you tend to just be a step or two behind, and you're always trying to catch up with technology. So that's where we are. We're just in a phase of trying.
Well, I think you guys have been doing a great job over there at Memory Museum, and I want to commend you for the steps you've been taking to interact more online.
Thank you.
Let's see, Jamie, are you here with us and able to talk? How are you doing, and how have you been getting along with keeping in touch with your customers? And how is reopening going for you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, I just wasn't sure because I'm driving home right now and my Bluetooth wasn't working properly. But um, anyways, yes, I've definitely tried to do as good a job as I can as far as keeping up with clients through texting, just checking in on them. The majority of people have come back, but there are still some people that are a bit apprehensive about coming in, just worried with the current situation, being that there has been an increase once again um, in positive tests coming in. So actually, I spoke with someone earlier today, just checking in, and she said that she was still a little nervous to come in, but she's definitely been thinking about me and missing the massages and coming in. So hopefully things will continue to improve and she'll be able to come in and feel comfortable.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. And Jamie, what are some challenges that you face when you're trying to keep in touch with people when you're not able to see them locally?
I guess the biggest problem is just trying to stay on the forefront of their mind to make sure that you are keeping in touch and showing that they're not just money to you, that you genuinely do care about them and have their best interests at heart. And just keeping in touch as well as what you can, and despite some people not feeling comfortable to come in due to the circumstances at hand. I think the biggest thing is just showing that you do care.
Mm-hmm. Um, Jay, what are your thoughts about that in terms of staying top of mind for customers when you can't see them in person?
It's really just finding ways to connect with them. Going back to, and I like how Jamie said it. You want to connect with them in a way where it's not like, oh, they're just income to you. You want to make these relationships more personal, because of course you'll get repeat customers out of it, but it's so much more than that. Throughout the growth of your business, or even in your regular life, when you're trying to strive for things, there's different connections you'll make and relationships that you'll build. Right now is not the time to let those go by the wayside. So what you should do is reach out, just even if it's just, okay, I'm gonna call 5 or 10 of my customers to see how they're doing today. People really appreciate that. Back when I was really doing a lot of selling, we call that the warm and fuzzy feeling. And it's true. If people feel like you appreciate them, it makes them feel, it gives them that positive energy that they need. And everybody needs that feeling that somebody's actually there, that has some concern about how I'm doing. So little things like that actually help you in the long run. And right now is definitely a great time to start building on those connections by reaching out and just saying, hey, how you doing? Even if they're not somebody that's gonna purchase from you right now, later on down the line when things get closer to normal or back, hopefully back to normal as soon as possible, they'll remember those moments. They'll remember, Jamie was the person that actually called and checked on me. April was the person that actually reached out and gave me good tips on how I can keep moving forward. Those little things there that really cost nothing, just a few minutes of your time, are more impactful than you think, than you realize. Way more impactful than trying to send out mailers and things like that, trying to get sales. Because in the short term, if you're just sending out information just to get sales, a lot of people will be kind of turned off right now because it's not something that's important to them right now. At the end of the day, as business owners, we provide a value to our customers. If our product or service is not of value to them right now, we still want to position our business to at least give some type of value, even if it's just that moral support. That's a value that people have, that people will accept and appreciate.
Right, exactly. And just bringing it back to a previous town hall, I think it was Dr. Gibbs that was telling us that in her small private practice, which is kind of like, out in a small town in a rural area, that when people come into the doctor's office, for a lot of them, that's where they get to catch up, they get to chit chat. It's really a social experience for them. It's not just a doctor's appointment. And so, during the pandemic, when she closed down for several months and was just doing telemedicine, it was difficult. Like, people literally just missed each other, like they're not just customers, they're not just patients, like they're, friends, they're family. And, I think it's the same for probably mall businesses, right? And like Jamie was saying with his massage clients, just checking in because you actually do care, certainly, for music folks, we're really close with our students, with other teachers, with our band members, and it's tough to be apart, but keeping in touch any way that you can, whether it's on social media or just picking up the phone or texting, it really does make a difference.
Now, I do want to say this, since you brought it up, one of the things that you'll start to realize, especially since we're so far apart, some of the people that you miss talking to that you didn't realize you had such great conversations with. Me personally, during the beginning of the pandemic, of course, we couldn't go to like hair salons and barbershops and like stuff like that. When we were finally able to, me and my barber had long conversations just catching up. And that was part of the experience that, even though I'm just getting a haircut, I missed that social interaction because people like you, barber, your doctors, or people that you can talk to in certain ways, that you make these connections and relationships that they become more than just, okay, that's my barber, that's my doctor, that's my hairdresser. That's somebody that you can really connect with. And with that in mind, even though we are business owners and we're looking to keep in touch with our clients, reach out to other business owners that you utilize, or you usually utilize prior to COVID-19, because they'll appreciate that as well. And that's a different approach. You'll get a lot of people doing the same thing, but if you're reaching out not only to your clients but also to service providers that you usually use, they'll remember that as well. And when everything is back rolling, some of your service providers will think about your business as well to make sure that you're back up and running. Because of course you took that extra 5 or 10 minutes out your day to say, okay, hey, how you doing? I know we're not doing business right now, but just wanted to make sure you're doing all right. See if there's anything I can do to kind of keep you at least mentally afloat while we're all trying to make it through these uncertain times. So little things like that is just things to keep in mind. Once you get into the habit of just connecting with people, it becomes less of a chore and more of a more of a natural thing. So in the long run, once we get, of course, back to normal, you'll have this new skill of connecting with people. You'll find that once you do it so many times that it becomes more natural to you. And I say this from experience because years ago, before I started in sales and marketing and everything, I was more of an introvert. I was more the person, and some of the people in SCORE can actually attest to this. I was more the person that wanted to be behind the scenes and just do production rather than get in front of everybody and start talking and presenting and sharing knowledge. Just by doing doing workshops, doing presentations, doing webinars and broadcasts like this, I've become more comfortable connecting with people. It's gotten to the point where if I go to a networking event and I start talking to somebody new for 5 or 10 minutes, we'll get into a good conversation, and somebody that I already know will walk up, I'll introduce everybody, we'll start a conversation, and they'll ask, "Well, y'all seem really connected. How long have y'all known each other?" And I'll be honest with them, 5 or 10 minutes. And it just being able to just start introducing yourself, which you should only take about 60 seconds, because most people kind of tune out after the first 60 seconds if they're not interested in that conversation, if they weren't prepared to absorb that information. But that's why we do elevator pitches. That first 60 seconds, introduce yourself. After that, once you start asking questions, how you doing today? What type of work do you do? How do you do that? How long you've been doing that? It's just like being a kid again, because that's all we did when we were kids. We just asked constant questions. I have nieces, nephews, so many younger cousins that as they grow up, I see that they're falling back from asking a lot of questions. But I know in their early years, I had to answer so many questions. And just following that example, just being inquisitive like that, it helps you connect with more people. Because again, going back to what I said before, people like to talk about what they're passionate about. And if you get them talking about what they're passionate about, they'll tell you a whole lot about themselves without even realizing it, because it's natural to talk about what you like.
Absolutely. And I mean, I can totally relate to all of that. Most people are surprised to learn that I'm also an introvert. I'm actually terribly shy. um, but I practice a lot, and I, I give myself pep talks, but also I really make an effort to surround myself with people who are nice to me, like Jay and I get along great, I mean, like, I don't think that I could have done this with somebody else, like we, really work well together, we communicate well, but it's not easy, and I know a lot of folks on this call with us, as well as who are listening in either on Facebook Live or listening to our recording. I know we have a lot of introverts, and it's tough to put yourself out there, but when you are networking with the right people, like Jay was saying in the beginning, it's not so hard. And personally, that's what I love about sites like LinkedIn and other social media, is that you have more of a choice, like in your local area, you have to interact with everybody or anybody. You're not going to just turn people away because you don't like them or because you're too shy to talk to them. But having a screen between you does kind of help a lot when you're just meeting people and trying to get used to networking. And then that way, when you meet in person, either on Zoom or in real life, it's not so hard. And speaking about that, I did want to be sure to mention, because I knew we were going to talk about introversion today and talking about relationships and networking. A good friend of mine, Sharon Hurley Hall, and her sister Lisa Hurley have a podcast called The Introvert Sisters, where they talk about being introverts and basically trying to navigate the world and life and business as introverts. So I highly recommend that. If you don't have time to listen to podcasts, they also do share blogs and social media posts with the highlights and stuff. So we will certainly share that resource with you as well.
Now, I also want to point out, like we did mention in the beginning, that all organizations that we've worked with, that we've partnered with to help start putting this together, organizations such as Fund 17, SCORE, SBDC are great to start making professional connections, because we're here to help guide you through this process. So through that whole process of offering you guidance, a lot of times you'll have multiple conversations with us. So you'll get used to talking to new people. And also, we have habits of connecting people with other people. So that's how we got all these different organizations to start working with us with the virtual town hall, with different workshops, sharing information with us. Also, I'm a big believer of joining the chambers of commerce, especially if you're doing business, because the whole point of the chambers is to connect you with resources and also other people. I say a lot about the New Orleans Chamber. I'm actually an ambassador over there, so you hear me say a lot about the New Orleans Chamber because I'm very aware of what they do and how effective they are. Under normal conditions, they do a lot of networking. I learned how to perfect my elevator pitch by going to their power lunches and power breakfasts. I've honed my skills in networking by going to that After 5 event that happens monthly, and their whole job is just connecting people. Another thing, I know we can't go to any balls or anything right now, but again, during normal times, if you want to start practicing just talking to people, a great time to do that is just go to of course, like I said, we can't go to sports bars right now, but when we can, that's a great place to start, because at a sports bar, if a game's on, everybody's talking to everybody, because they have that, I kid you not, we have that common subject that we're going to talk about. We all have an opinion what's going on in the game. Just join the conversation. It's real easy to do that. Just say a few words, show some interest in the game, and people start talking. I've met so many different people just sitting at a bar watching the game. I'm a big basketball fan, so especially during the playoffs, I go watch the game and I'll meet new people. And when I was selling, I'd sell more cars that way, which my managers didn't understand how I would do that. Well, I'm socializing. That's the whole point. I'm connecting with people. Once we find common ground, we like the same team, and that's easy to do down here. So long as you like LSU or the Saints, or like I said, I'm basketball, so Pelicans. I like the Pelicans. A lot of people like the Pelicans. They're just getting on my nerves right now because they're not playing how I want them to play. But I digress. But down here, if you like LSU, if you like the Saints, some people ULL, University of Lafayette, different teams like that. If you show that you have interest in those teams, other people who have that same interest will start gravitating to you, and they'll start wanting to talk to you. Especially the older generation, they will give you a whole lot of stories about, oh, back in the day, this person was a great running back, or this person was a great cornerback. But again, they're passionate about it. It's an easy way to get them talking, easy way to get to learn to know people. And since we can't go to balls or anything like that, I've seen a lot of organizations do happy hours, virtual happy hours. And you can utilize social media for this. Facebook has a watch party feature where you can host a watch party. So you can get something going, get your little watch party or something going and join in. Or you can just, like I said, do a virtual happy hour. Take some time out, get a group of friends together and just talk over drinks. Since you're at home, you can have your own style drink. You don't have to worry about if that specific bar has a specific beer or alcohol that you like, or I'm a wings person, so I don't have to worry if I'm going to a bar that doesn't have the right wings or anything like that. I can have that pre-made and set up so that while I'm in that virtual happy hour, I have everything that I like, that I'm comfortable with. So it's you have to find some new techniques to connect with people, but they are out there. It's just we will have to start utilizing technology more. And I know for people that aren't inclined to technology, it may be a little cumbersome in the beginning. But again, there's people you can call and reach out to and say, hey, I'm trying to use Zoom. I'm trying to use Facebook for this. Can you point me in the right direction? Another thing, some of the organizations, we're starting to teach utilizing technology for business as well. I know Louisiana Economic Development has set up a partnership with like Shopify to set up retail shops online so that you can have a way to reach your customers a little bit better during these times. They have free training and things like that. So take advantage of the trainings that they have out there, because they'll definitely show you how to utilize different platforms so that you can make connections and create that business continuity that we need so we can keep moving forward and won't have to worry about, oh, do I have to shut my business all the way down? Now, for the retail shops, if you have to close your doors as far as a physical location, I'll give you the numbers like this. For renting a physical location, you're looking at a couple of $100s a month at least. If you go to an online platform, you're looking at a couple of $100s a year. Mm-hmm. So even though you may have to close that physical location, you can shift to, like I said, a Shopify platform. Just let your customers know that, look, we're going to an online platform. It's going to be easier for us to maintain our business during these weird times, these unprecedented times, but we'll still be able to service you. And a lot of these platforms are incorporating a lot of information that you need. Like one thing that I thought was awesome about one of like Shopify's platform and some other platforms too, they're incorporating pricing information as far as shipping. I know that information can change throughout the year, and it can be taxing as far as gathering that information. Well, a lot of these platforms are incorporating them into that back end area, so you can just give them the basic information about where you're shipping from, where you're shipping to, and they'll tell you which company is the best one, whether it's FedEx, UPS, the Postal Service, which one has the best prices. And in some cases, you can get, as a business owner, I've seen in some cases you can get a bit of a discount because of the amount of shipments that you'll be doing. I kind of lost my train of thought right there, but it goes back to utilizing these different platforms to find ways to reconnect with your clients. Like I said, with the online platforms, I call it digital real estate. It's a lot less expensive than having a physical location, and especially right now with COVID-19, if people are hesitant to come into a physical location, shifting to online services will be best for you because it's more cost effective. More people shop that way. I have seen people have told me that they, even though they don't have customers coming to their location physically, they have seen an uptick as far as visitors to their website, orders on their website, and things like that. And again, with platforms like Facebook, if you go on retail, they have a marketplace that you can add your merchandise to the marketplace. I think people are still using Craigslist to list products to sell, which is still low cost, if any cost. Another thing that people don't realize is if you have a Google My Business page, you can post things you have for sale. You can post events that you have coming up on your Google My Business page, which actually helps with your what they call SEO, so search engine optimization, because you're putting more content out there. And there are little things like that that you can make the adjustments to, and run successful businesses. You can pivot into a business model that works for this day and time.
Absolutely. All really great points, Jay. And let's see, we've got a little bit of time left. I'm going to just quickly share my screen again because Google My Business is one that I did want to mention. I'll be very quick. Because I wanted to share, I had pulled up the museum again just to show how they're using Google My Business and how it has helped them during the pandemic. Mrs. White was sharing about how they hosted their first ever virtual event this summer, and one of the ways that they were able to get the word out was through Google My Business. And you know, for anybody that's not familiar with that, Google My Business allows you to list your company on the internet. It shows up on the map, you know, like on Google Maps. But also when people are doing, you know, a Google search on any platform, their iPhone, their different search engines, the information that even other search engines use, as Jay was mentioning, as far as like your search engine optimization or SEO, they get the information from Google. So just really quickly, you can just search for Google My Business and click their links to learn more about it. You can set it up yourself. I do highly recommend, if you can, to work with a professional to help you with it, because you'll, even though it is very easy to set up yourself, you can take full advantage of the SEO capability when you're working with someone that can set everything up for you perfectly the first time. And then just, oh yeah, go ahead.
I do want to interject.
Yes.
Even if you're not ready to work with a professional, because we all know professionals charge, Google does have a learning platform specifically for, well, not just for business owners. It's like for business owners, teachers. It's real well-rounded, but it's called Grow with Google. And it's a free platform to help you learn how to utilize Google. There's also a nice app that they have called Primer, Primer, that gives you little snippets of information on a regular basis about how to utilize a platform to maximize its value to you. So on a daily basis, I get a little notification on my phone that, oh, your Google Primer lesson is ready, and it tells me what it's about. So I get to take a few minutes of my day and look at those tools. Google is actually one of our resource partners. So we do periodically host Google workshops. We do, I'm trying to think of the one that we have coming up right now, which I think will be in September, October. But I want to say that one, actually, I don't want to mislead anybody. I know it's in like September, October that we have the Google workshop coming up. They're doing more live streams now since we can't have in-person workshops. But when we do have in-person workshops, we're able to get Google trainers to come down. We actually had 2 big events last year where Google came down and did a library tour for Louisiana. And they went to 3 libraries. I know one in the East, there's one in they did in Northern Louisiana, I think in Monroe. And trying to think where they did the third one. I think it was like Baton Rouge, they did the third one. But they'll come down, and these are free events, and they'll kind of get you up to date on what they have going on with Google, tell you how to get connected to the resources, because Google wants more businesses online because the way they make money is by getting businesses to advertise, but they also want people to search online because they have to have people going on websites to put ads in front of. So the more businesses they have online, the more resources people are looking for, it's better for Google. So they find ways to get you online. Now, another thing I want to point out, and this is just something I did for my website, you don't necessarily have to have a single address on Google. I found this out through experimentation, and I'll see if I can show you mine as well once April has finished showing hers. Mine, rather than having one location, I have a geo map on mine, so it shows you that I work in this area, which is of course the Greater New Orleans area. So it's just different things to think about that. And the reason I bring that up is because some people may say, well, I don't have a physical address to use with Google because I may be a home-based business or things like that, and I don't want to put my home address on there. Well, there's ways to kind of tinker with the back end and get around that. So like I said, I did a geo map. The other thing is, if they don't get approved for Google, there's still Google Counsel, which helps you to put your information on Google rather than doing Google Maps, which is the Google My Business page. The Google Counsel that affects how your page is listed online. So you know how you see some pages. So we're looking at Jim Reed Museum, and I'm hoping I'm saying that right, because I have been known to mispronounce names. It's almost religious.
Yes, that's right.
Mispronounce names. But you know how some businesses you'll pull up and you'll see like subcategories under the website. Well, businesses are using Google Counsel to put the individual landing page, connecting them to their main page. And there's different ways to do it, but so there's different ways you can get on Google rather than just going to a Google My Business page, and that's my main point.
Yes. That gets to be kind of technical, but yes, there's always many ways to accomplish these types of tasks. Yes. And once you get into it, it's really kind of fun, right? You know?
Yeah, it's fun. Like you said, it's technical, yeah. But again, that's why Google tries to push out as many free resources as possible. Mm-hmm. And if anybody wants to learn more about the Grow with Google program, just reach out to us at school, and I'll be able to connect you with the Grow with Google platform.
Yes. Okay. So 2 things really quick. When I say definitely work with professionals, I don't mean to sound like I'm saying spend all your money on consultants or spend all your money on agencies. But what I mean is there's lots of free help available. Take advantage. We see these workshops happening all the time. And I mean, I know personally, I hear people, being really concerned all the time about lacking access to things, but then they don't show up to these trainings. So take advantage of professionals when they're making themselves available at no cost to you. Show up to the trainings, download the apps, get the free notifications. But yes, and so then just really quickly, what I wanted to share about Google My Business. One, if you have a physical location, but you're closed right now, it's still important to be there. Google My Business does have an app that's very easy to set up yourself. They walk you through every step. You just type in your information. But then here's 2 features about it that really can help you get online quickly if you weren't already. Excuse me. And just in this case, the museum is very small. They're in a very small town. They really didn't have an online presence. But along with having a map presence through there, they have a free website builder that allows you to just basically automatically generate a website based on your Google My Business profile. It looks very good, and it shares your announcements to make them look like blog posts. The event that they had in the summer, they were able to just post it right there in the Google My Business app to let people know about the virtual event that they were having, because they were closed and couldn't do that special event that they normally do in person. So I wanted to share that, to say that pivoting to online, it doesn't have to be too difficult. It is very quick, and there are people who are ready to help you at no cost. I'm gonna let Jay show us his page with his geolocation, because yes, it is true that Google does allow you to set your business up without sharing your physical address. I shared that example because a lot of people do have a physical location and they're wondering, what can I do now? Because I can't do anything from my physical location. And so you can still promote your physical location while offering your events virtually. Don't share. But for others who work from home, like me personally, I also just mainly work from home and doing consulting now. I don't want my address on the internet either.
All right, so I'm not sure if you can see my screen
Yes.
yet. Okay.
Yeah, looks good.
So my business, if you see it, just on the map, it has, this is what I mean by a geo map. You see that red line? That just shows this is the area that I service, which again, like I said, is the greater New Orleans area. Now I can expand it to include like Slidell, more Metairie, Kenner, and things like that. But also you see there's no physical address showing, but there is a drop down with my times available. So this is something that you can use to, again, get yourself online. There's a call button, there's websites, website link. Now I have to update my Google Console, but you see there's links down here to the About page, events page, contact page. Normally I have more descriptions down there. I've been in the process of updating my website. But this was the main thing I was talking about, was rather than having just one physical location, you can have that geotag that shows, okay, this is your area of operation.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. Go ahead.
There's one more thing that I want to mention with Google.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if you don't want to pay for a full Zoom platform. So you can use Zoom for free. Of course, the free version cuts out, I think, after like 40 minutes or so. Google does have I want to say it's still called Google Meets, but they still have that platform up. So a lot of times when I'm setting meetings with some of my clients, I'll automatically just click in a meeting invitation. I'll automatically click add Google Room or Google Meets to it, and they'll have that link that they can utilize to do a video conference. And again, that's totally free, so it doesn't have a time limit on it or anything like that. Works real similar to Zoom. I just think Zoom is a cleaner platform for business, but again, we're not in normal times, so a lot of people are utilizing that as well to cut down on costs. We were fortunate enough to already have plans in place to utilize the Zoom platform, so we already had a package set up for us. But if you don't have those tools in front of you, if you don't have those resources right now, if you want to conserve some of your capital, you can utilize the Google video conferencing software for free, which with your Google email and Google accounts.
Yep. All right. Well, it's about that time. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the call, for joining us live, streaming with us, and also for listening to our recordings. Our next town hall will be Thursday, September 3rd. We're meeting every first Thursday monthly now, and we'll be talking about managing your financial success.
All right, and then two other things I want to point out. I didn't get a chance to add this to the slides. I forgot to do this earlier. Next week on the 13th, I believe, next Thursday. I know it's next Thursday. Yeah, y'all have to excuse me. I've been in two conferences this week simultaneously. Technology is great, but I don't think I'll schedule myself to be in two conferences at the same time ever again. That's way too much information to take in at one time. But next Thursday, we are having a webinar, Making a Powerful First Impression. We have a style coach coming in to explain to us how to make a powerful first impression, and of course the importance of that, especially right now with utilizing online platforms, because your first impression sets the tone for the whole relationship. So you want to make sure you have a good first impression. Also, the following Thursday on the 20th, we're doing our Simple Steps workshop. This month's Simple Steps workshop is on marketing plans. So we'll go through a webinar about creating your marketing plan. This is part of our Simple Steps series. If you notice, this month we are staying on topic as far as relationships, making first impressions, and marketing. We're staying on that side of business. Each month we'll kind of keep that tone. So since we're doing managing your financial success next month, we do have a financial matters workshop in our Simple Steps program, and we're looking at one more workshop. Hopefully we can get it in next month. If not, it's going to be the following month, which is going to be a credit one-on-one workshop with one of our partners. But going forward, we are trying to make each month set each month around a certain topic so that you can get as much information around that topic as possible. Also, if you want to go and see some of our recorded town halls, or if you want to look at this one or some of our previous ones, visit neworleansiScored.org/SBVTH, Small Business Virtual Town Hall. We have a link for our recorded town halls on there. Link to our upcoming sessions, community resources such as SBA, SBDC, Fund 17, True Fund. We have links to their organizations as well. We also have our new Community Resilience Hub. Excuse me. Again, that's mispronouncing the name at this point. So the Community Resilience Hub was developed on a national scale from our national side of school to help during COVID-19, because right now we need resilience. We need to learn how to be resilient through these unprecedented times. So that's just a resource center so that you can connect with resources specifically developed and consolidated to help you manage your business through the pandemic. Also, we do have our normal one-on-one mentoring, but we do have Tuesdays and Thursdays from I think 2 to 5, where we do an online session, live mentoring session, where we pull in some of our national partners to help us with answering some of your questions. And let's see, to give you an example, some of the national partners that are participating in the real-time mentoring sessions on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you're looking at Constant Contact, Progressive Commercial Insurance, Advanced Reach, Trend Micro. Trend Micro, of course, is a technology company. Grow with Google is usually is one of our sponsors, so they're usually participating. So if you have any Google questions, you can reach out to them during those sessions. And there's a company called NAV, N-A-V, that helps facilitate businesses building their business credit. So we have these people on the line every Tuesday and Thursday from 2 to 5. Well, that's Eastern time, so it's 1 to 4 Central time, to answer your questions in the live chat sessions. So we're trying to give you as many resources as possible. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me. That's my email. I'll direct you to anybody that can help you, or if there's something that I can help you with, of course I'll answer those questions. If there's a resource partner that we feel that you will benefit from, of course we'll connect you with those people. I'm really pushing people to connect with, especially organizations like Urban League, SBA, SBDC, Course Score, Fund 17, Good Work Network. All these organizations are popping up. Of course, True Fund. All these organizations are popping up with some good resources. They're starting to launch a lot of programs right now. I know that I think Good Work Network is launching a program for to help you create a 3-year business strategy. Urban League has their roundtables coming up, and also their Scale Up program coming up. So they're still launching programs to help you develop your business further. Even though we are trying to stay resilient and create business continuity, they'll help with that as well. We're producing more educational experiences to help you get your business either up and running, or get you back to business, or move you to that next level. So that's all I have. April, any other words?
That's it. Just thanks so much again, everybody, for coming. Join us again for our next town hall next month. Join us for all of the other join us for all the other wonderful trainings which are happening all the time on a weekly basis, and really across all the different partners. There's bound to be something that can help you. So take advantage.
And I do apologize for this. I wanted to have her talk, because I did notice you up there, Shelly. If you want to unmute your microphone, Shelly, she's on the call right now. She's actually the style coach that will be teaching the class next week. Shelly, would you like to say a few words about what you'll be talking about next week?
Hi guys, I hope you can hear me okay. Sometimes my
Yes, hi Shelly.
Yeah, I get delayed sometimes, but I'm excited. I am definitely going to talk about the power of your image, what happens when you walk in a room, and what you can control about how other people view you. It's very powerful stuff, and the fact that you can control it is really exciting. and I have my top 5 things you can do, and you can do them immediately. You don't have to join a gym. We're not going on a diet. We're going to do them right away, that fundamentally change the way people see you.
That sounds great, Shelley. I know I definitely want to find out what those 5 things are for sure. Thanks so much for being here with us and for telling us more about it. And we'll be sure to encourage folks to show up too.
I'm going to too. I'm going to send it out to my people and say, y'all need to be a part of this organization.
Yes.
I appreciate that. And I appreciate you doing the workshop for us, webinar for us. We met through a mutual friend, and I like Mary Jane. She's a mutual friend of ours, and she has connected a lot of people. Since I've met her, I've met new interesting people. So, but yeah, Shelley, like I said, I'm very appreciative of you putting that workshop together for us, because it's very important. Like we talked about on this call today, that a lot of people are apprehensive to connecting with new people, but if you have the right things in place, right tools in place, and if you have the right information in place, like the 5 things that Shelley mentioned, you'll have more confidence as far as approaching new people, making that right first impression, and getting your message across clearly, and showing that value that you can offer. So
Yeah,
thank you for
I
that.
agree.
And you say, Shelley?
I was saying, yes, I agree. When you look good, you feel good, right? That just begets confidence, and it builds and it builds and it builds. So it's easier to walk in the room when you know you are just on fire.
Yes, definitely. So I look forward to that talk, and I haven't pressed Shelley on what the 5 things are. I'm gonna wait and find out with everybody else, but I am eager to find out.
Good.
I'm being good and patient. I'm being patient. So we look forward to that next week. So once again, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. If you watch us on Facebook, please feel free to connect. And if you're watching the recorded session, we're always here to help. Please feel free to connect. You'll see some links in the bio below, so you can connect with us and some of the other organizations. So, but until next time, we want to say be safe, and have a great evening.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. See you on the 13th.
See you then.